Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Guys Time with the Bryze. The Bryze is back, and man, another great weekend of sports. Unfortunately for the Detroit Tigers, all you Detroit Tigers fans out there, you hate to see it. You know, a great run by these guys, a great story. But Mike Valente said it best yesterday on the Valente Show, 97.1 Ticket. People don't really like stories. I do personally, but you know, stars. You gotta get stars. The stars obviously is what makes teams in the MLB become successful. So this is a sign that the Tigers need to open the pocketbooks, open the paycheck, open the paycheck, Mr. Ilitch, and let's start signing these players who can actually hit the damn ball, right? Because obviously our bats were not there in the ALDS against the Cleveland Guardians. I mean, we just shut down. I mean, against the Houston Astros in the wild card round, we were great. But then we play Cleveland, a very good team. Don't get me wrong, a very good team. And we just completely shut down. So yeah, Scott Harris, Christopher Ilitch, let's open the pocketbooks and let's start signing some big name players. I don't care what it takes. Sign some big name players because this is a great sign for Detroit Tigers moving on, right? I mean, 0.2% chance of making it to the playoffs at the beginning of August, and we made it to Game 5 of the ALDS against a very good Cleveland Guardians team. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's awesome. That's, you know, you couldn't write a better script than that, right? So I don't care who you need to sign. We need to start getting some offense because our bats were horrible in that series. 5 for 46 with runners in scoring position. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the Yankees. I don't care if you're the Guardians, the Dodgers, the Mets. I don't care who you are. 5 for 46 with runners in scoring position. That's god-awful. That is trash. That is absolutely disgusting. And the Detroit Tigers, they have to blame themselves. You can't rely on pitching. Yes, I understand. We have Tarek Skubal, our ace, who's been dominant all season long, right? Let's go through the stats. I got some stats here real quick. So Tarek Skubal in the regular season, 18-4 record, 2.39 ERA, 228 strikeouts. Absolutely phenomenal. He's probably going to win the AL Cy Young Award, which rightfully so. He deserves it. And in the postseason, 2.7 ERA with 20 strikeouts. Guy was dominant, throwing heat. And then all of a sudden, Game 5 of the ALDS happens, and then in the 5th inning, he gives up a grand slam. The first blemish of this guy's postseason career, or his season rather, the 2024 season. His first blemish, right? And it came at a horrible time, Game 5, 5th inning, to give, obviously, the Cleveland Guardians the lead. They end up winning that game 7-3, unfortunately. But yeah, grand slam, you hate to see it. But you can't rely on pitching. And I said before, 5 for 46 with runners in scoring position. Detroit, you need to get in the ALDS. Detroit, you need to get bats, right? So let's get those bats and let's make this team great, right? But then Steven Kwan from the Cleveland Guardians, man, this guy was a pain in our ass. I mean, this guy, won the games in the ALDS. I mean, all the balls were going his way. He would catch everything. Catch, and then even the diving catch, which we all thought was hit the ground. No, he caught that ball because he's a great player. He's a great effing player, right? He's a great fielder. But in Game 5 of the ALDS, he had his third straight three-hit game, which is the most by any Cleveland player in Cleveland's history. So that was crazy, right? But yeah, this was despite the Tigers not making it to the next round to the ALCS against the Yankees, which the Yankees won last night, by the way, against the Guardians. Despite all that, this was probably one of the most entertaining series I've ever seen in any sport. I mean, it was great to see the Tigers, that great story, We didn't, who would have thought that the Tigers would be in this position, right? I mean, you go back in August, you go back in late July, after the All-Star break. These guys had no chance at all, no chance in hell of making it to the postseason. They ended up doing it. Great story. It was awesome to see. Heartbreaking loss. You hate to see it if you're a Tigers fan, but you know what? It's a direction, and it's the right direction, right? We're going in the right direction. But that starts with management. You have to sign players to help us out on offense. We need to get guys on base, and then we need to score those guys. How do you do that? Well, you need to get guys who can get base hits. You need to get guys who can get doubles and triples and home runs. We need to score. And that was our biggest issue in the ALDS against a very good Cleveland Guardians team. So very unfortunate that happened this past weekend, but it is what it is. And now, you got the Yankees and the Guardians in the ALCS, and then on the NL side, you got the Mets and the Dodgers, they are tied a game apiece. So that's going to be a very interesting series there. I think that's going to go to Game 7 in my opinion. But yeah, that's baseball. So welcome, the Braves is back, and now we got to talk about this fun-filled weekend of football. I mean, both college and NFL. So we'll start with the NFL. We got the Detroit Lions absolutely annihilating, absolutely destroying the Dallas Cowboys. Their worst loss since Jerry Jones bought the team in 1989. Their worst loss at home since Jerry Jones bought the team in 1989. And it was on his birthday. So happy birthday, Jerry Jones. That was probably the worst birthday present you ever had, that you ever given in your entire life. For that old man to watch his team get absolutely annihilated on home field, absolutely disgusting, right? I mean, you got feel for the guy. Oh man, that's horrible. But it was good for us. Hey, Lions fans, let's all rejoice, right? Let's all be happy. Dominant win. We needed this win because coming into this game, the Cowboys had 6 straight victories against us. Our last victory against the Cowboys was in 2013. And to give that into some perspective, I was a junior in high school. So yeah, it's been a really long time. I'm old now. So that was the last victory against the Cowboys for the Lions. But then they come out here and just absolutely dominate. 27-6 at halftime. And I'm watching the score at halftime. I'm like, oh man. All right, now we just got to keep moving. Because we saw this in the NFC championship game against the 49ers last season. We were up 24-7 and we blew that game when it mattered most. But I mean, from the get-go, I mean, we just kept going, kept our foot on the gas and didn't let up. I mean, we absolutely destroyed the Dallas Cowboys. We destroyed their will. We destroyed their soul on home field. It was fun. It was fun to see. I love it. I love seeing it. Jared Goff, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 2 touchdowns. That guy's an absolute bull. I mean, I love how he runs. He fights for every yard, man. You have to have that kind of running back. I mean, he's not going to go down. You're going to need that whole defense to bring him down. He's going to fight for every single yard every time he touches the ball. So that was great to see. And on top of that, he just signed a 2-year extension with the Detroit Lions a couple days ago. So he's staying here till 2027. So that's great to see. I love seeing that too. And then this was the 4th consecutive lopsided home loss for the Dallas Cowboys. They lost 3 straight. They opened the season losing 3 straight home games, first time since 2010. So obviously the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. How about them Cowboys? Yeah, they absolutely suck at home. I mean, they just cannot win at home, which is crazy. That stadium's designed for them to play well and win games, but obviously they just cannot show up when their home fans decide to come and embarrass themselves and, gouge their eyes out watching their team play every single Sunday at home. And yeah, they just cannot win at home, man. It's crazy because, Dallas is supposed to be America's team, right? I don't think so. No way. That's our title now. The Detroit Lions are officially America's team. You can ask any other of the 31 franchise, all 32 or 30 other franchises in the NFL, they're going to say the Lions are the America's team. So, yep. Sorry, Cowboys. You had that title for 50 years. It's time to pass it over to the Detroit Lions, a team that's actually going somewhere this season, right? And then they're the first team since at least 2000 to trail 14 or more points at halftime. And then this is the 4th consecutive games at home where they trail at halftime, and then they've done this 4 consecutive games at home. So obviously they can't get a lead. They're down early, and then it's like their spirit gets crushed. It's like at that point they're depleted, they're defeated, they're done. They don't want to be there anymore. They don't want to play football. Even the stars, Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. So you had that, and then this previously Dallas had a 16-game home winning streak. Coming into the season rather, and then that got crushed. At the beginning of the year, and then they've allowed 167 points in 4 games, which is the 3rd most in NFL history. Dak Prescott threw for 2 interceptions. So your defense is horrible. I don't care if Micah Parsons is on the field or not. You guys cannot stop the run. You can't stop the pass. You guys give up so many points. Your red zone defense is absolutely atrocious. And then Dak Prescott threw for 2 interceptions. This guy is the highest paid player in the NFL, $60 million a year. You guys guaranteed this guy. He signed a 4-year, $240 million contract days before the home opener against the Cleveland Browns. $60 million each year, and then $231 million guaranteed before the opener against the Browns. Yeah, when you're paying that guy that much money, you cannot lose 47-9. I'm sorry, at home especially when you have CeeDee Lamb, when you committed yourself to win games and bring Dallas to the promised land and bring them to the playoffs and win the division, NFC East. Well, you didn't play like it. I mean, you looked absolutely horrible, Dak Prescott, and that team just looked horrible. I mean, like I said, halftime, they looked depleted. They looked like they didn't want to be there anymore. I mean, they were just like, all right, let's just get the hell out of here. We don't want to play football no more. We don't want to play in front of these fans. We don't want to play in front of Jerry Jones on his birthday. The guy is 82 years old, man, and he had to witness that. God bless him. I mean, God, that's horrible. That had to be the worst birthday gift he ever received in his entire life. I mean, his best birthday gift was probably buying the Dallas Cowboys 35 years ago. But that was 35 years ago, Jerry Jones. Times have changed. You got to look at your team. Your team is bad. Absolutely bad. 3-3 on the season, 0-3 at home. First time since 2010, as I mentioned. You can't do that. Highest paid player, Dak Prescott, you got to go out there and you got to win. You got to win that game. I don't care how good the Detroit Lions team is. I don't care. You got to go out there and win. You cannot lose 47-9 and be the highest paid player, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. It's absolutely disgusting. I don't understand that. And me personally, I think Dak Prescott's overrated. You guys can, put your own opinion on Dak Prescott, right? I think he's overrated. Jared Goff's 100 billion times better than him, and he's only making $55 million a year. Unreal. So you have Detroit. Detroit coming off a bye week, right? So Detroit coming into this game, bye week, fresh legs, right? A couple of weeks before, you beat Seattle at Ford Field in the Motor City in Detroit, 42-29, way before the bye week. So that was great. That was a great victory heading into the bye week. Then you come off the bye week and you go to Dallas and you dominate them. You took their soul from them. You destroyed them. You stomped them. You curb stomped them. Done. Over. Dallas, go home. This is our territory now. We are America's team now. And they did. They sent a clear-cut message. And then also in that game, you had Brian Branch, 2 interceptions. That guy's a beast. I love that guy. He might have his mouthpiece, his mouth guard on the side of his helmet, his green mouth guard. I love it. I think it's pretty funny, but this guy plays, and he's a great player. I love. That was a great draft pick a couple years ago. So 2 interceptions. Sam Laporta opened up the scoring for the Lions with a 52-yard touchdown. It was a trick play. Goff hands it off to Monty. Monty hands it off to St. Brown. St. Brown throws it back to Jared Goff. Throws it to a wide open Sam Laporta. Great catch over the shoulder. Beautiful catch. You couldn't have a better catch than that. Unbelievable. And then he scores a touchdown there. That was awesome to see. And then Jameson Williams, another long touchdown pass for this guy. So he's starting to wake up a little bit. He had the off the field issues with the sports betting last year. He was hurt his first year, but now it's looking like, okay, yeah, we've seen this in Alabama. Now we're starting to see it here when it matters. So another long touchdown for him. And then that gave the Lions a 34-6 lead entering, early in the third quarter. And then at that point, Dallas didn't want to be there. I think those fans didn't want to be there either. There was a lot of Detroit Lions fans. I mean, they travel. They travel now, which is crazy because 20 years ago they wouldn't. But now Lions fans are everywhere. It's awesome to see that. And then Goff had the second. His passer rating was 150 or better back-to-back weeks. Second time that's ever happened. The other time, Drew Brees had back-to-back passer ratings of 150 or better, going back to 2018. So Jared Goff is a great quarterback. I don't care what anyone says. This guy's playing his ass off right now. You know, he not one single incompletion in that Monday Night Football victory against the Seattle Seahawks. 18 for 18, most completions, most attempts without a single incompletion in NFL history. And then he does it. He has another great game when he throws for 3 touchdowns, 300 plus yards, passing. This guy is the real deal. And that's what I mean. When you have a great offensive line, which the Lions have the best offensive line in the league, I don't care who you are. When you have Penei Sewell, you got Taylor Decker, you got all those guys on the line. Frank Ragnow still out, but you got Graham Glasgow, you got Penei Sewell, who's the best offensive lineman in the league. Great things can happen. We've seen it. We've seen it so far after 6 weeks, right? You give Jared Goff or any decent quarterback a great offensive line, great things can happen, right? So you had that, and now, despite all that, great victory, much needed victory, we have to address the 500-pound elephant in the room, which is the Aiden Hutchinson injury. Obviously, he broke his leg. I don't suggest anyone watching it. If you want to be a psycho like I am, go ahead, watch the slow motion version of it. It's disgusting. It's heartbreaking. It's disturbing. It just makes you. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible to see. But now with Aiden Hutchinson gone, he was already the best defensive player. He led the league, 7.5 sacks. Led the league. The team itself had 15 sacks. So this guy's production was through the roof. And then quarterback pressures, he led the league in that. It's just sad to see because, like I said, he was on pace to have one of the greatest seasons in defense as a defensive end in NFL history. We're talking about like J.J. Watt numbers, T.J. Watt numbers, maybe Myles Garrett numbers. But unfortunately, he's gone, and now there's doubt. Like, do the Lions still have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl or make it to the playoffs, rather, without Aiden Hutchinson? Absolutely. And I'm not going to say next man up. I watched all the talk shows. First Take was talking about it. The Valenti Show, 97 won the ticket. They were talking about it. And then even Jim Costa and John Jansen, they were talking about it in the morning show yesterday. Who do you get? I think this is the time where you start looking at elite pass rushers. And one name that came up, Mike Valenti offered, was Myles Garrett. Hell, hey, bring him over, man. Bring him over. Because obviously he doesn't like Cleveland. Cleveland, he needs to get the hell out of there before he starts losing his damn mind. Come play for a winning team. Obviously Aiden Hutchinson's out. And then you got Marcus Davenport out for the season with the torn triceps. That's our 2 starting defensive ends. Can't replace. How do you fix that? You have to fix it. And I strongly believe Brad Holmes needs to go find a defensive end. Myles Garrett would be nice. Hassan Reddick, I don't know. Or Hassan Reddick, rather. Excuse me. Jets defensive end. I don't like that situation he's in right now. He's holding out for money. So obviously he doesn't fit the grit attitude that we have here in Detroit. But I like Myles Garrett. I would love to have him here. You got to trade a couple draft picks. So be it. Max Crosby, that's the name that everyone wants. It's pictured perfect, right? Because he said in the past that he would love to play for Detroit. It's not going to happen, guys. So don't get your hopes up. Stop talking about it. It's not going to happen. It's unfortunate because that would be really cool if he came to the Motor City. I would love to have Max Crosby here. He played at Eastern Michigan, so he has Michigan roots. Great guy, great player. Very disruptive, can be a game changer, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. He's staying in Vegas. He's got all these tattoos of Vegas Raiders all over his body. It's not going to happen. So stop getting your hopes up. It's not going to happen. But if you're going to get anybody, I agree with Mike Valenti. Go get Myles Garrett. Why not? Go get him. Obviously we need defensive end. Our 2 starting defensive ends are out for the season. Aiden Hutchinson broke his leg. He's done. Marcus Davenport, he's done with a torn triceps. John Kaminsky's on the IR. We're not. Our defensive end, depth chart is not looking really good right now. And you need an edge rusher in the NFL. And in today's NFL, you need an elite edge rusher like Myles Garrett, like T.J. Watt. You need that guy. And we don't have it right now. So, yes, the Lions can still be successful, in my opinion. This game coming up against Minnesota, that's going to be a huge test. No Aiden Hutchinson, how do we respond? We're on the road against a division rival who's undefeated, by the way, and they're playing very good football. That offense looks really good. Sam Darnold, crazy enough. I mean, Sam freaking Darnold. Whoever thought this guy was going to be, lead the league in touchdowns, right? Touchdown passes. That is a game that's going to test us, for sure. I mean, it's a division game. You have to go in Minnesota and you got to win. You have to win. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But how do we respond? That game right there, I do believe will dictate the rest of our season. Especially now with the new situation coming up with Aiden Hutchinson being gone. We don't have that elite pass rusher that we had for 6 weeks, right? Led a league in sacks, 7.5 sacks. God knows what those numbers would have been by week 17, right? But now he's gone, and now we got to go face Minnesota coming off a bye, so they're fresh, playing on the road. You got to win this one. You got to. You have to win this one. I don't care if we run the ball 50 times, which we should anyway. We got the two-headed monster. We got Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Our running game's amazing. We had 184 rushing yards this game, which almost 200 yards rushing is insane against the Dallas Cowboys. But I don't care how we do it. Our defense has to play good enough in this game to win. And it's going to be tough. Yes, you got one of the best wide receivers on that team, Justin Jefferson. How do you block him? How do you contain him? Carlton Davis, Brian Branch, whoever's covering him. Yeah, you got to be on his ass every single play. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate what happened to Aiden Hutchinson. I'm sure a lot of us Lions fans here are heartbroken, right? I mean, we can't believe it, right? Aiden Hutchinson's a fan favorite, great player, was on track to have a great season, probably one of the best seasons we've seen from a defensive end in a very long time. And then he breaks his leg. You hate to see it, man. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It sucks. It absolutely sucks, man. I mean, damn. But now we got to move on. We all were upset Sunday. Maybe some of us were a little upset yesterday. It's Tuesday morning now. We got to get ready for Minnesota Sunday. So, move on. I know. It sounds cruel. It sounds harsh. But I think Aiden Hutchinson would want us to move on and play football. Because we got football rest of the way, guys. We already had a bye week. Now we got to show up and we got to dominate our opponents. So with that being said, a lot of craziness in that game, right? The NFC North, 17-5, best record for any division through week 6 since 1970. So every team in this division, very good, right? Green Bay's 4-2. They handled business this past weekend. Chicago going overseas and beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, I get it. It's Jacksonville, one of the worst teams in the NFL. We'll get to that in a little bit. 4-2. Detroit's 4-1. Minnesota's 5-0. Dude, the NFC North's no joke this year. We gotta win those games, and like I said, it starts Sunday against Minnesota. So we got to win, man. We have to win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And now we got to hop over to Monday Night Football. So I watched a little bit of this game. I was at my uncle's playing Texas Hold'em yesterday, so I was peeking at the game. We were watching the Red Wings game too. I don't even know why we watched the Red Wings game because they lost 4-1. But we watched Monday Night Football, and I watched the ending of it. The Bills ended up winning, obviously, 23-20 against the Jets. 22 combined penalties, which was tied for most in a game ever. Usually when you see a lot of penalties being called, half of them are garbage. Half of them are horrible. Half of them are like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's a penalty? That's a pass interference? That's a roughing the passer call? Aaron Rodgers went out and said the roughing the passer on him wasn't even roughing the passer. That's the quarterback. That's Aaron Rodgers himself admitting that the roughing the passer penalty against the Bills, against him, wasn't even roughing the passer. So when you have quarterbacks saying stuff like that, you know that this game was horribly officiated. I get it. It's the NFL. Officiating's hard. I don't care if it's the NFL, college, pee-wee football. I don't care. I don't care if you're coaching a bunch of 6-year-olds or officiating a 6-year-old game. I don't care who you are. It's tough. But dude, there's a difference between, okay, what's obviously a penalty versus, okay, we can get away with that. Don't throw the flag. But dude, even at the end of the game, they threw like 5, 6, 7 flags. I mean, for what? Stop throwing the flags. Let these guys play. It's a division game. It's Monday Night Football. It looks bad for TV, first of all. And then second of all, us fans, we want to see guys play football without the refs dictating the outcome. And we've seen that numerous times throughout the NFL's history. But yeah, 22 combined penalties in this game. Horrible. Disgusting. But like I said, half of those had to be horrible crap calls. Half of those calls had to be absolutely garbage. And they were. I mean, Aaron Rodgers said himself, that roughing the passer penalty on the Bills against me wasn't roughing the passer. That's the quarterback himself saying that. So when the quarterback's even admitting that the roughing the passer call was BS, maybe you should start listening to him. I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, any game where there's a lot of penalties, you know it's going to be BS, right? And we saw it last night. It was horrible. Horrible game. I don't care if it was a division game. I don't care if it was 23-20 final. Horrible. So officiating, yeah, of course. Yeah, we always got to blame the refs, right? You know, it just brings me back to Brad Allen in last year's game, Dallas Cowboys and the Lions. Yeah, I'll never forget that. He reported Brad Allen. He said it right to your face. You looked at him, and then you decided to ignore. Yeah, he's a bonehead. So with that being said, Rodgers had another Hail Mary touchdown. This guy, even at 40 years old, throwing Hail Mary touchdowns. Because why not, right? I mean, it's the Jets. They just got done firing their head coach, Robert Saleh, last week, which I thought was crap. I thought that was unfair. I get it. He wasn't a very good coach, but the timing was horrible. But yeah, screw it. Let's just heave it up there. Let's throw it. Because I'm Aaron effing Rodgers, and I can do whatever I want. And he did. It was his 4th Hail Mary touchdown in his career. Yeah, he did throw one against the Lions many years ago, which was BS. Because there was a crap face mask call, which wasn't a face mask. He grabbed his shoulder. That game should have ended right then and there. But no, they gave him an untimed down, and he throws it. And of course, against Detroit, especially back in those days, they win. Because it's the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. But that was many years ago. Times have changed. He's 40 years old. He's with the Jets now. But yeah, another Hail Mary touchdown pass. And Alan Lazard caught it. His former buddy in Green Bay. It was great to see. And now going back to Robert Saleh, briefly mentioned, 20-36 as the Jets head coach, wasn't very good. Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, called Rodgers the night before firing. So yeah, did Aaron Rodgers have some influence? Yeah, I mean, he probably put his 2 cents in. I don't want to say he was the main reason why Robert Saleh got fired, but I mean, he definitely influenced the decision without question. And then they demoted Nathaniel Hackett, obviously the former head coach for the Broncos during that crap show last year with Russell Wilson. That was horrible. And you got Todd Downing calling the plays now for offense. And then you got Jeff Albrecht being the new head coach. So the Jets are just everywhere right now. That organization's screwed. I feel bad for the Jets fans. So many years of misery. I mean, when was the last time they won a playoff game? I think 2000, right? Yeah. Many years of misery. I mean, I get it. Being a Detroit Lions fan most of my life, I've seen the 0-16 team in 2008. I've seen the referees screw us out of so many games throughout the years. We went to the playoffs and never won a game. Up till last year, of course. But yeah, I feel the pain. So those Jets fans, God, man, if you're a Jets fan, oh, God bless you. God bless you, man. And then I just found out before I started the episode today that the Raiders are finalizing a trade, sending Devontae Adams to the Jets for a conditional third round pick, which could be a second round pick. So does this fix the Jets' issues? Possibly, maybe in the short term, but that team in general, just falling apart. And that's the crazy thing, because they do have a decent defense. Their defense is not bad. But then the organization, how that team is operated, is absolute garbage. Horrible to see. So yeah, Davante Adams possibly going to the Jets. Meeting up with his old buddy Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Aaron can finally throw the ball and be happy and be consistent on offense instead of getting his ass kicked. He got sacked 3 times yesterday and he took a lot of hits. Being 40 years old, you can't take those hits anymore like you did when you were in your 20s or in your 30s. So maybe Davante Adams helps him out. We'll see. But it's the Jets. They're horrible. But yeah, the Bills, they won. Good to see that, right? Division win. You get, Monday Night Football, big win for the Bills. Josh Allen had a couple touchdowns. Looked pretty good. But yeah, man, crazy. Monday Night Football, officiating was bad. Jets, as an organization, just absolute garbage. And now Davante Adams is coming to New York, baby. Let's go. Let's get the fireworks going. You gotta love it, right? So you got that. And now we gotta go through the rest of these scores as we do. And then I also gotta make my picks. Forgot to do that last week as well. So, week 6. Another great week of football. You gotta love it, right? So Thursday Night Football, 49ers beating the Seahawks, 36-24. And the Seahawks said, we gotta run the ball more. Oh, that explains why you only had 52 yards rushing. Yeah, and you threw it for 306 yards, and you had Geno Smith throw it 52 times. Yeah, that's running the ball a lot. Yeah, we gotta run the ball more. It sure as hell didn't look like it when you only have 52 yards rushing throughout the entire game. Unbelievable. And then you're going to have Geno Smith throw it 52 times? Like, are you trying to kill his arm? Unreal. So, Seattle losing 3 straight. They got to fix something, because that's a bad situation there. So you had that. And then the Bears winning against the 1-5 Jaguars. That team is just horrible. Doug Peterson, the fact that he still has a job is crazy to me. It doesn't even make sense. But yeah, the Bears win that one. The Packers beating the Cardinals 34-13. I'm telling you, the NFC North, no joke this year. Colts win 20-17 against the Titans. Another bad team, the Titans. They just shut down the season. Just same with Jacksonville. Just shut down the season. Get rid of it and give all the season ticket holders their money back. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation there. Texans winning against the Patriots 41-21. The Buccaneers scoring 50-plus points against division rival the Saints. Baker Mayfield, man, 4 touchdowns, 325 yards. Dude, he beat us. Career resurgence, career resurrection for Baker Mayfield. He found his home. I said it numerous times on the podcast. That's great to see. Eagles and the Browns. So the Eagles barely won this one against the 1-5 Browns, another team that should shut down for the rest of the season. And then you got Nick Sirianni, the head coach, talking crap, talking mad shit to the fans. Like, hello? Well, like, are you trying to get yourself fired? Are you trying to not have a good rapport, a good relationship with the fans? Because we know how Philadelphia Eagles fans are. They're vicious. They're absolute savages. They don't give a damn. Go out there, do your job, win games. That's all they care about. And then you're just, talking your ass off like an idiot. And then you come out, I apologize. I'm sorry. Yeah, nah. You're on the fan base's #1 hit list right now. You're public enemy #1 in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni. Rest of the year, you better win some damn games. You better get that offense figured out real quick, because when you almost lose to the 1-5 Bears the 1-5 Browns at home, when you almost lose to a team like that, what the hell are you doing? Like, the Browns are horrible. They are horrible. You have Deshaun Watson, who is probably one of the most overrated quarterbacks, probably right behind Dak Prescott. One of the most overrated quarterbacks, getting paid $45 million a year because he has a big guaranteed contract that the Browns decided to give him a couple years ago. And he's playing like absolute crap. He's playing absolutely horrible. I mean, it's poo-poo, as Mike Valente would say. I mean, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. You cannot almost lose, barely win against the Browns. You can't. You cannot. So Nick Sirianni, you better be kissing fans' buttocks, their behinds, because this is unbelievable. So you had that going on. Ravens Commanders. This is a very good game. Yeah, Commanders lost. Baltimore looked really good. Lamar Jackson looked really good. Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns. That guy's a beast. Leading the league in rushing. Yeah, about time. Yeah, maybe you start running the ball. Oh, maybe that's a good idea. Why did we bring Derrick Henry in the first place? Oh, because he runs the ball. Ah, I get it now. Yeah, see, when you start involving him in the offense, when you start running the ball, maybe, 30, 40 times a game, yeah, maybe that does win. Hell, look at the Detroit Lions. We have a great running game. We've won most of our games because of it. Ah, see? Doesn't take a genius to do that. So you have that. Ravens winning that one. That was a great game. Chargers, 3-2, 2-1 on the road against the Broncos. Division game there. That was good to see. Jim Harbaugh. Oh, you're starting to see the Jim Harbaugh effect, huh? You gotta love it. Steelers and Raiders. Raiders. Another team that's so bad. But Steelers bouncing back from that Sunday Night Football loss against the Cowboys. Good to see that on the road. And then obviously the 49ers. Not the 49ers. The Detroit Lions. Absolutely annihilating. Absolutely destroying. Crushing the Cowboys' soul. You took their soul and you crushed it. 47-9. Jared Goff, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, as I mentioned. David Montgomery, 12 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. They came at a price, though. Our best defensive player, Aiden Hutchinson, out for the season, broke his leg. Heart-wrenching, man. You hate to see that. You hate to see it. And then the Falcons beating the Panthers, the 1-5 Panthers, another team that should just shut down for the season because they're absolutely horrible. Yeah, Andy Dalton, yeah, he was good when he first relieved Bryce Young a couple weeks ago, but since then, not so much. So you might as well just put Bryce Young there and give him reps. I mean, yeah, he has a 2-16 record. It don't matter. It's the Carolina Panthers. They're one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL. But the Falcons looking good, 38-20. Yeah, don't sleep on the Falcons, man. It's a good team. And then Sunday Night Football. I watched this game and I almost fell asleep because 17-7 for a primetime Sunday Night Football game. And once again, the Giants lose at home, 0-3 at home on the season. And then in prime time, they have like a 1-7 record, or now a 1-8 record, playing at home on Sunday Night Football. Unbelievable. I mean, this game was just boring as hell. I mean, like I said, I should have just watched game 1 of the NLCS. The Dodgers and the Mets. I would have had more excitement watching that. And that was a blowout too. 9-0. Dodgers beating the Mets, game 1. But I should have watched that game. I should have watched the movie. I should have done anything else besides watch Sunday Night Football, because that was probably the worst Sunday Night Football game I've watched this year, or ever, in a very long time. 17-7, Bengals win. But yeah, Giants 0-3 at home. Another team that can't win at home. Just like Dallas Cowboys, they can't win at home either. But yeah, that Sunday Night Football game, god-awful. And then Monday Night Football, as I mentioned, to wrap up Week 6, Bills 23-20. Jets are just not good. That organization is just poorly operated. They need to fix it. Maybe Devontae Adams is the saving grace. But we'll see. We'll see. So that was Week 6, another exciting week of NFL football. Now we got to hop over to Week 7. We got Thursday Night Football. We got the Broncos and the Saints. Saints playing at home. Broncos coming off a loss. Both of them coming off of losses, actually. But the Saints at home. I like the Saints in this one. I'm going to take the Saints for Thursday Night Football. Sean Payton, former head coach for the Saints for a really long time, comes home, comes back to New Orleans, and faces his old team. Going to be very interesting storyline there. But I got the Saints beating the Broncos. And then Sunday, obviously, you got the rest of the league. So both 1-5 teams, the Patriots and Jaguars. The Patriots, another team that should shut down. These two teams should not even play. I mean, I don't even know why we're even advertising this. I don't even know why they're even put on TV. Yeah, they're on the NFL Network, 9:30 a.m. I'm not even going to wake up that early to watch this game because it's going to be absolutely disgusting. And then Jaguars are 6-6 in overseas matchups, which is embarrassing because their owner owns, I think, one of the stadiums in England. So 1-5, the battle of 1-5s. Man, I don't even know. I mean, it's just this is horrible, horrible. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I'm not even confident with that pick because this is disgusting. Like I said, to put this on national television, no. Just don't do it. Don't do it. But of course, it's on NFL Network, so they have to, right? 9:30 a.m. I hope you guys don't wake up that early. You'd be wasting your damn time. So Jaguars over the Patriots there. Oh, now we got an actual decent game. The Falcons and the Seahawks. I got the Falcons in this one. They're playing really good football right now. Seahawks have lost 3 straight. Falcons in that one. Titans and Bills. I got the Bills in this one. Titans, another team that, Will Levis, dude, that guy is just not playing great football at all. Josh Allen and the Bills looking good, especially coming off that huge victory against the Bills, or the Jets rather. Monday night, I got the Bills in that one. You got the Bengals and the Browns. I got the Bengals in this one. The Browns are just horrible. Deshaun Watson just needs to go home and not play football ever again. So you have that. You got Texans and the Packers. This is a good matchup. I actually like this matchup very much. I'm going to go with the Packers, though, man. I like them at home. Texans, C.J. Stroud playing good football. They have a good defense. But the Packers, man, they got the most takeaways on the defensive side of the ball. I think the Texans' offense are going to struggle in this one. So I got the Packers winning at home against the Texans. You got the Dolphins and the Colts. I got the Colts in this one. The Dolphins are just, you don't have a great quarterback situation. That team is in shambles. That team is just disorganized and just falling apart very quickly. So I got the Colts winning that one. The Lions at the Vikings. This is going to be a very hard matchup for the Lions. Obviously, losing Aiden Hutchinson was huge. A huge loss for us. The Vikings coming off a bye week, playing at home. I like the Detroit Lions, though. I do believe that they can go into Minnesota and win this game. It's going to be a very close one, in my opinion. I think the Minnesota Vikings are not going to back down without a fight. But the Detroit Lions, we gotta be tougher. We gotta finish to the end. We gotta be the team to rise above the Aiden Hutchinson injury. So in that case, with that being said, I got the Lions winning this one against the Minnesota Vikings. Classic NFC North matchup. 2 very good teams. Lions are 2-0 on the road. They're going to make it 3-0. I got the Lions over the Vikings there. It's going to be a tough one, though, for the Lions. You got the Eagles and the Giants. So NFC East matchup here. Giants playing at home. They're 0-3. Eagles are 1-1 away. These are 2 teams that I just don't have any confidence in. I really don't. But I'll take the Eagles because the Giants just suck at home. They're horrible. So I got the Eagles there. You got the Raiders and the Rams. So the Rams coming off a bye week. I like the Rams, even though they're banged up. You don't have Cooper Kupp. You don't have Puka Nacua. A couple of your offensive linemen are out. But the Raiders are just bad. They're bad, even though they got a 2-4 record. They should be like 1-5, along with teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Panthers and the Browns. But I got the Rams at home winning that one. You got the Panthers and the Commanders. So I got the Commanders in this one. They're going to throw like 50 points against the Panthers because the Panthers, like I said, just stop playing football because your team is absolute trash. I got the Commanders. They bounce back at home. Jay Daniels, he's going to have 300-plus yards, maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns passing. Commanders win that one. And then game of the week, primetime, Chiefs and 49ers rematch from the Super Bowl last year. This is going to be a very good one, very intriguing, very exciting. Lot of stuff going on here. Chiefs traveling to California to face the 49ers. I like the Chiefs. It's hard to go against Mahomes, but the 49ers are 2-1 at home this season, coming off a big Thursday night football victory against the Seattle Seahawks, an NFC West rival. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They will find a way to win. This is going to be a very good game. Watch it, play some bets, get your fantasy football lineups in, lock and loaded, ready to go. I got the Chiefs over the 49ers. The Jets against the Steelers. This is your Sunday night football. You got to be kidding me. Oh, God. Steelers are going to win this one at home. Their defense is going to be too much for Aaron Rodgers and that offense to deal with. But Devontae Adams possibly coming over now. Does he play? Does he become a factor in that Sunday night game? We'll see. We will see. But I like the Steelers at home. So you got that, and then you got 2 Monday Night Football games this coming week. You got the Ravens and the Buccaneers. That's going to be a really good one. I actually like the Ravens. Yeah, Baker Mayfield's doing great. Awesome. Probably his best year ever in the NFL. But the Ravens running game, Derrick Henry, that is the difference maker right there. You feed him 30, 40, 50 times in this game, Buccaneers are going to be too exhausted. You can't take him down. He's a linebacker playing the running back position. The running game wins. I got the Ravens winning against the Buccaneers there. And then the second one, exclusively, yeah, they really put that out there. Exclusively on ESPN Plus, you got Chargers and Cardinals. I got the Chargers winning. Cardinals, I just don't trust that organization. I don't trust Kyler Murray at all. I like the Chargers in that one. And so that's week 7. Those are my picks for week 7. So hopefully I do good. Go Lions. Go Lions. And our thoughts and wishes and prayers are with Aiden Hutchinson and his family at this time. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. Obviously he's done for the year. It's heartbreaking to see, but hopefully he'll be back better than ever next year. So we got that. Now we got to hop over to college football. So one of the big games this past weekend, we had the Red River Showdown. That wasn't even much of a game. Texas obliterated Oklahoma. But the other big game, in my opinion, was Ohio State and Oregon. Classic matchup, right? These two, last time they went up against each other was 2021. Oregon won that one against Ohio State, and then Ohio State won 9 previous before that meeting. And then obviously 10 years ago, the first ever college football playoff national championship game, Ohio State absolutely dominated Oregon. However, this time, it was a classic matchup, Big Ten matchup. Oregon's in the Big Ten now. 32-31, Oregon. Great game. Definitely the game of the weekend for college football. Will Howard, he had a great game, but his clock management skills were absolutely horrible. They were trash. They were absolutely, what are you doing? Let's be honest here. There's an offensive pass interference call inbounds, right? So the clock goes because the foul occurred inbounds, right? So the clock is going. You wasted 10 to 12 seconds there. Precious seconds that you needed in order to set up your team for victory. You wasted all that time. And then next play, you run. And you run out of time. You run with 5 seconds left. You're running, you slide, and then the game's over. Horrible clock management by Will Howard, a veteran quarterback, so no excuse on his part. Transfer from Kansas State. No excuse. He should have known what was going on. You have to call a timeout sooner. The clock management was horrible for Will Howard and Ohio State. Because, like I mentioned, the pass interference was inbounds, so the clock is going to keep rolling, and you slide to end the game. Come on, dude. You're Ohio State. Going to this game, Ryan Day was 1-6 against top 5 teams. Now he's 1-7. Come on, dude. Help the guy out. But it was still good to see because Ohio State, you know what I mean? Because, Michigan, we'll talk about them in a little bit. But this was a great game regardless. 2 good teams, 2 good offenses, defenses beating the crap out of each other. Came down to the wire. Will Howard slides to end the game. You hate to see it as an Ohio State fan. You love it if you're Oregon. They rushed the field. It was awesome. Great game. But with that being said, Ryan Day's now 1-7 against top 5 teams. Top 5 ranked teams in college football. So, can't win against teams that matter. And going to this game, this was Ohio State's biggest test. They played Marshall, Akron, Marshall, Akron, Western Michigan, Iowa, who doesn't score any points. Come on, dude. It's a pancake schedule. It's a cupcake schedule. But then you face a real team like Oregon, and you lose. So, there you go. See how that works? But Oregon's next game is against 1-5 Purdue. They should win that one. And then Ohio State's next game is against Nebraska in a couple weeks. They're on the bye week, and maybe they need that. And then I'm looking at the schedule, and Penn State, if everything goes well, and they're on the bye week, I do believe. They're the only other top 5 team that Ohio State plays the rest of the year. Cupcake schedule. Yes, it is true. Look at their schedule. Are you kidding me? Going to this game, they were number 2 ranked team in college football, and now they're not. And now they got one other top 5 team that they go up against. No, I'm not buying it. Nope, I don't like it at all. But despite all that, it was a great game. It was a great game. It was a great game to witness. So now we got to look at the standings Texas is number 1, obviously. Let's see here. Yeah, Texas is number 1. Oregon's 2. Penn State is 3. Ohio State's 4. Georgia's at 5. Miami Hurricanes, DU, baby, coming back. Number 6 ranked. 7 Alabama, which is embarrassing because they almost lost to South Carolina. And then they got absolutely annihilated by Vanderbilt a couple weeks ago. 40 points against they threw on Alabama, and they're still ranked 7. I don't think so. That's some BS there. LSU at 8, Iowa State at 9, Clemson at 10, Tennessee at 11, Notre Dame at 12. So those are your rankings. That is crazy. Crazy rankings there. And then yeah, obviously you had Alabama almost losing to South Carolina. 19-14, I think was the score there. We'll check the scores here in a little bit, but yeah, Alabama does not deserve that number 7 spot. Me personally, I don't like it. Just because it's Alabama, Nick Saban's not there anymore, but the name Alabama, it's a brand, right? They've won multiple national championships the past 10 years. Yeah, whatever. They're not the same Alabama team. I tell you that right now. So going through the rest of these scores, you got Texas obliterating, absolutely annihilating the Red River Showdown, 34-3 against Oklahoma. As I mentioned, Oregon beat Ohio State 32-31, the best game this past weekend for college football. Penn State surviving against unranked USC 33-30, number 4 Penn State there. So that was crazy to witness that. Georgia beating Mississippi State 41-31. Alabama winning 27-25. I stand corrected. But still, almost losing to South Carolina. I mean, this is not the same Alabama team we're used to seeing. Tennessee beating Florida, classic SEC matchup in overtime, 23-17. LSU winning against Ole Miss, 29-26 in overtime. Another thriller of a game there. Clemson winning 49-14 against Wake Forest. I mean, come on, Wake Forest. Let's be honest here. Notre Dame winning against Stanford. Stanford, really? Who's making these schedules? 49-7. So yeah, and then Boise State, 28-7. Ashton Jeanty on pace to break all the records rushing. I mean, this guy, he's definitely possible Heisman Trophy candidate. I don't think they get the recognition because it's Boise State and they're only ranked 17th in the country. But Ashton Jeanty, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, Ashton Jeanty. 31 carries, 217 yards, 1 touchdown. Yeah, this guy is unreal. But yeah, possible Heisman Trophy candidate there. So you got that. And then Colorado losing to Kansas State, 31-28. So prime time, definitely not prime time in that situation. But yeah, that was all of week 7. Now we gotta hop over to week 8. We got the new rankings. Texas number 1, obviously. They're going to be competing on the college football playoff, the expanded playoff format this year. But yeah, we got some games. We got some games this coming week. Got a couple games on today. We got a couple games on tomorrow. A couple games on Thursday, and then Friday we got Oregon and Purdue. So Oregon should definitely win that one. I don't see how they don't, especially on the road. Purdue's 1-5, 0-3 in the Big Ten. Oregon's going to win that one. Number 2, Oregon, going to win that one there. And then Saturday, you got Miami and Louisville. Miami definitely should win that one there. Auburn, Missouri, SEC matchup. I got Missouri in that one. I like Missouri. Wisconsin and Northwestern. I like Wisconsin. I like what they're doing there right now for the Big Ten. South Carolina and Oklahoma. I like Oklahoma in this one. I think to bounce back from that ass beating from the Texas Longhorns in the Red River Showdown. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan. I got Central Michigan winning that one. And then you got Alabama and Tennessee. Tennessee is going to win this football game because Alabama is not the same Alabama team we're used to seeing with Nick Saban in the past. Obviously, Nick Saban's done now, but Tennessee will win this one. It should be an exciting game. 3:30 on ABC. Let's go Volunteers. Let's go Vols. And then Michigan coming back on bye week. They're playing Illinois. Michigan should win this one, but dude, Illinois is no joke. They're 5-1, 2-1 in Big Ten, we're playing on the road too, so this is going to be a tough one, especially since we don't have offense, right? So Michigan, Illinois this weekend, we have 23.5 points per game, 141 points, and only 17 total touchdowns. After 7 weeks, bro, dude, that is absolutely horrible. That's atrocious. That's disgusting. Like how? How is that even possible? Like you're freaking Michigan, the defending national champions. I get it. It's not the same team as last year, but bro, when you only have 17 total touchdowns after 7 weeks, there's something wrong there. And obviously we don't have a quarterback, and that's the thing you should have taken advantage of once Jim Harbaugh left, once all of our draft picks, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum, all those guys left. You have 4 returning starters, fewest in all of college football. Bro, you have to go and use the transfer portal. I seriously believe that Sherrone Moore has no idea, has no clue what the F he's doing. He really doesn't. Because when you have a situation like this, when you don't have a quarterback, and you knew that going into the season, when you're only scoring 23.5 points a game, 141 points total, 17 total touchdowns after 7 weeks of college football in today's environment, dude, you have to address that. And it starts with the quarterback. You have to get a quarterback. We don't have it. Jack Tuttle, he ain't going to do it. Alex Orji, God, that guy can't even throw a screen pass to save his life. And then Davis Warren, that guy, forget about it. So Michigan has to win this game. And they're going to struggle. They might not. I mean, the fact that the Michigan State game, an all-time classic, an all-time rivalry game, not just in the state of Michigan, but in all college football, is next Saturday, 7:30 on the Big Ten Network. It's not even nationally televised on NBC or CBS. ABC not so much anymore because they got the SEC contract. But the fact that game is not even nationally televised because both Michigan teams suck this year, it tells you something, right? So maybe that should piss off Michigan. I mean, they have to do something, right? I mean, when you lose, in an embarrassing way against Washington on the road, this is a team you beat in a national championship last year. You have to come back and you have to find a way. I mean, dude, look at the rest of your schedule. I mean, you got Michigan State, right? Okay. Then you got Oregon coming up in a few weeks. That you're probably not going to win that one. Then you got Ohio State at the end of the year. Probably not going to win that one either, to be honest with you. And then you got Indiana, who's undefeated. I mean, you have to win this game against Illinois. It's not going to be easy. I tell you that right now, but you have to find a way to win. Especially with no offense, that's going to be very tough to do. Give it to Khalil Mullings and Donovan Edwards. I mean, that's their only bright spot on offense because the passing game's horrible. Your quarterback situation sucks. Your defense ain't that good. Probably the worst performance I've seen a couple weeks ago against Washington and met in a very long time. So, yeah, you got to do something there, boys. I don't know what you got to do, but you got to win against Illinois. So that game's on CBS 3:30 this weekend. Let's see what else we got going on here. Yeah, we got Toledo, Illinois. Yeah, we don't care about that. But yeah, definitely big game this weekend. Seems like Tennessee and Alabama. That'll be a very good one. Colorado playing Arizona. I'll take Colorado in that one. Texas A&M, Mississippi State. I like Texas A&M in that one as well. LSU, Arkansas. I like LSU. They're bouncing back. There's the big game. There's the night game. 7:30 p.m. on ABC. You got Georgia and Texas. Texas is going to run Georgia over, especially playing at home. That offense is hard to stop. Georgia has definitely exposed themselves, obviously losing that thriller of a matchup a few weeks ago against Alabama. That was a great game to watch. But Texas, man, they're running over everybody. And that's why they're the number one team in the nation, because they're just playing great football. So congrats to Steve Sarkisian. I really hope Texas can continue this because it's been a long time since we've seen Texas be a powerhouse, right? Last time I can remember was the Vince Young years when they won the 2006 Rose Bowl for the national championship against USC. Arguably the greatest football game ever played. So this is good. This is a great matchup. I got Texas in this one at home. Georgia, you better throw the kitchen sink at these guys because they're not going to back down. So you got that. And then Michigan State playing Iowa. I got Michigan State winning this one. I like Michigan State. Obviously they lost 3 in a row. But I think they bounced back. That bye week is what they needed last week. Iowa can't score any points, even though they're 4-2 and 2-1 in the Big Ten. Playing at Sparty Stadium. I'll take the Spartans in this one just because I feel bad for them, right? I feel bad for Michigan too. Like I said, that game, I'm always really excited about that game, but, both teams suck. Michigan doesn't have an offense. Michigan State doesn't really have an offense either. I'm not excited about that game at all this year, so I'll take Michigan State over Iowa because I feel bad for them. Kentucky and Florida, I'll take Kentucky in that one. Let's see what else we got. And then TCU and Utah. I'll take Utah. I like that game there. But yeah, some big games on this weekend. Obviously, you got Tennessee and Alabama. I got Tennessee winning that one. And then the night game, you got Georgia and Texas. I got the Texas Longhorns destroying the Georgia Bulldogs. So you got that. And now we got to hop over to end the episode today with the Detroit Red Wings. So I know it's early. We've only had 3 games, so let's all just relax. All you Red Wings fans, yes, we're seeing flashbacks of last year and years before that. Their power play is horrible. Their power play is trash. Obviously, as shown last night. Red Wings going up against the New York Rangers. It just seems like we can never win in New York. Whether we're playing the Rangers, the Islanders, it doesn't matter. Especially the Rangers. That's an original 6 team. We got to beat them, right? It doesn't matter if we're playing them away, we're playing them at home. We have to win. We didn't. We lost 4-1 last night. It was ugly. Power play so far after 3 games. So, like I said, relax. 1-11 so far on the season. 1-11 on the power play. That's horrible. Like, you cannot have those kind of numbers and expect to win games. Expect to be in the win column. You have to clean that up. And that's no excuse because we got Alex DeBrincat. We now have Vladimir Tarasenko. We have Patrick Kane. We have Dylan Larkin. Lucas Raymond. You have to get goals on the power play. When you have the man advantage, there should be no excuse. And Dylan Larkin said it perfectly. Detroit, Yahoo Sports. He was quoted as saying, we get that one opportunity, that first chance to score, and then we kind of just fall apart. We kind of just relax, or we're already defeated. Dude, when you have the man advantage, you got to shoot that puck at the net. Too much passing. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. You take the puck and you shoot it because that puck can bounce anyway. Bounce off the ice somehow. Bounce off a player's skate, a stick. You have to shoot at the net. And these guys just like passing for some damn reason. I don't get it. They got to clean that up. I know it's early, but that's disgusting. Especially a very good team against the Rangers. You can't do that. So the Rangers, Mika Zibanejad had a goal. Alex Lafreniere, Chris Kreider had goals. Panarin had 3 assists in this game. So they got stars on this team. Obviously, right? And then against the Rangers, our power play, we were 0-4 on the power play. Can't have that, dude. Can't have that. Moving forward, we got to clean that up. And the stars that I mentioned, the players that I mentioned, that is no excuse on the Red Wings. But yeah, they opened up the season against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That was hard to watch. 6-3. We got absolutely annihilated against the Penguins. And then Saturday came, last Saturday, and we beat and shut out the Nashville Predators 3-0. Yay, great, wonderful. Everyone's playing good. And then last night, we lose 4-1, 0-4 on the power play against the Rangers at New York. We can't have that. We got to clean that up. That's disgusting. Dylan Larkin only had the only goal for us. And now Thursday, New York comes to Detroit. We have to beat these guys. Power play. We're on the power play. We have to get goals. We have to play defense. We have to get the puck out of the zone. Our penalty kill has to be on top. Has to be above average in this game. So yeah, Thursday, October 17th, New York, 7:30 p.m. Red Wings, Rangers, classic original 6 matchup. You gotta love it. Watch the game. Red Wings, you gotta clean that power play up because that's disgusting. And I know, like I said, 3 games. right, early in the season. But don't make this consistent. Don't make this a repeating pattern, right? Like, let's clean up the power play. We need to. We desperately need to. So that's the Red Wings. And with that, we're done. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Guys Time the Prize. It was great talking about a lot of football. Obviously, the Aiden Hutchinson injury. Big blow for the Detroit Lions. Flip side of that coin, we absolutely crushed the soul of the Dallas Cowboys, 47-9 on Jerry Jones' birthday. Happy birthday, my man. Sorry that you had to witness that. Your team just absolutely taking a big crap in the middle of your field. Did not show up that game. College football, it's been crazy so far. I mean, did you expect anything else? It's college football. You gotta love it. And then some hockey. The Red Wings need to clean it up. That power play is atrocious. Clean that up and you will find success. So yeah, with that. And then the Tigers. Great season. Great story. Just couldn't, we were behind 1 or 2 plays. And obviously the Cleveland Guardians had the better bats in that series. We could not get guys to come home with runners in scoring position when it mattered most. We just couldn't do it. You can't have that, especially in postseason ball. So this episode will be available on my YouTube page at Guys Time with the Prize, the video version, and the audio version, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. Just type in Guys Time with the Prize. The new episode will be out, and you will be able to listen to that one. So thank you again for joining me. You guys are great on this Tuesday morning, almost Tuesday afternoon. You guys have a great rest of your day. Go Lions. Go Red. Let's go Red Wings. Go Blue. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Take care.